Okay, let's just dive right in. If you're anywhere near the world of finance, you know that the buzz around generative AI is, well, it's impossible to ignore. But the big question is, how do you actually use it safely and effectively in a professional environment? Today, we are going to break down a proven, repeatable framework to get reliable results from AI without all the risk. Think of this as your playbook for making AI a genuinely powerful tool, not a liability.
So, I want you to think about AI in a very specific way. It's not some magic black box. Instead, I want you to meet your new intern. This intern is incredibly smart, unbelievably fast, and has access to, well, pretty much all of human knowledge. But just like any new intern, it has zero experience, no professional judgment, and absolutely no context about your specific job. It's got all this power, but it needs clear, precise direction from you to do anything useful. And if you've ever tried using these tools without a solid framework, I bet this quote right here really hits home. You ask it for a simple calculation, and it spits back an answer that's just confidently totally wrong. It's a common frustration for sure. But here's the thing. It's not really the AI's fault. It's a symptom of unclear instructions. And today, we're going to fix that. So here's our game plan for today. We'll start with how to properly manage our new AI intern. Then we'll unpack the proven prompt recipe. That's our main tool. We'll see it in action with a quick demo, cover the absolutely non-negotiable verification steps, share some pretty cool next-level tips, and then wrap up by talking about why your skills are more important now than ever. You see, the key to managing our AI intern isn't just about a single command. It's about having a real, professional protocol. We're going to move away from throwing a vague request out there and getting a vague or just plain wrong answer back. Instead, we're moving to a structured framework that gets you reliable, professional results every single time. So let's look at the recipe. Now this, right here, this is our entire management strategy on one slide. This is the proven prompt recipe. Now it might just look like a few simple boxes, but trust me, each one is a critical piece of the puzzle. It's an instruction that guides the AI toward the exact output that you need. Let's break down what's in it. There are 5 core ingredients to this thing. First, you give the AI a role. This sets its mindset. Then, you give it a clear goal so it knows what done actually looks like. You have to provide the context, the specific facts it needs to do the job. Then, you set the constraints, and these are the really critical guardrails. And finally, you tell it the format for the output. Every step just layers on more and more clarity. And this whole recipe, it's built on something called the AIM mindset. It stands for Ask with Purpose, Include Details, and Modify and Refine. You see, this isn't a one-shot command that you just shout into the void. It's a conversation. You got to treat the AI like a colleague, give it clear instructions, and then work together to refine the output. All right, that's enough theory. Let's see how this actually works in the real world. We're going to build a high-quality, professional prompt completely from scratch, one ingredient at a time, for a pretty common financial task. So we start with the role. We're not just talking to some generic chatbot here. We are specifically telling it you are a CTFIN financial analyst. That immediately puts the AI into a professional public sector finance mindset. It primes the model to use the right tone, the right terminology, the right everything. Next up, the goal. We need a super clear, specific deliverable. Something like, draft a one-page briefing note on a material budget variance. Now the AI knows exactly what success looks like. It's a single page, about a specific topic, no more, no less. Simple. Okay, now for context. Remember, the AI knows literally nothing about our specific situation unless we tell it, so we have to provide the key facts. The variance is an over budget of $0.12 million due to, and then of course, we'd list out all the specific drivers. This is where you feed it the raw data it needs to do the analysis. And now we get to what is probably the most crucial step in finance: constraints. This is where we install the guardrails. We'll tell it to maintain a neutral tone, and then, most importantly, we give it an explicit, non-negotiable command: do not invent numbers. Let me say that again: do not invent numbers. This one constraint is the most powerful way to stop AI hallucinations dead in their tracks. And finally, we have format. And we can get incredibly specific here, which is pretty cool. Instead of just asking for plain text, we can ask for code. In this case, we're saying, provide the output as a risk table in Mermaid Markdown. Now, Markdown is just a simple way of writing that other programs can use to create visuals. And this is what the AI gives us back. See, it's not a picture, it's just structured text.
It's the code for a diagram, all generated based on our very precise instructions. But this is where the real magic is about to happen.
And boom, this is the payoff. This just perfectly illustrates the power of a really good prompt. We take that raw text code, we can pop it into a free tool like Mermaid.live, and it instantly generates a clean, professional-looking risk table. You've just gone from a complex financial problem to a presentation-ready visual without ever having to touch a design tool. How cool is that? Okay, now even with the absolute perfect prompt, our job is not done, not even close. We've got a first draft from our AI intern, but now comes the most critical step for any finance professional, the mandatory review. This part is completely 100% non-negotiable.
I want you to let this one sink in for a second. If you can't check it, don't use it. At the end of the day, you are the one signing off on this work. The AI has zero accountability. You have all of it. Its output is just a draft, it's a starting point, and it is your professional responsibility to validate every single bit of it.
So how do you verify? Simple. Here's your 3-step checklist. First, you reconcile every single number back to your source of truth, whether that's the general ledger, your forecast, whatever. Second, you make sure the explanations it gives are specific and testable, no vague hand-waving allowed. And third, you confirm that all the necessary controls and the audit trail have been addressed. Okay, so once you've really mastered the recipe and the verification process, there are a few next-level techniques you can use to really elevate your workflow and squeeze even more value out of your AI assistant. Here are 3 of my absolute favorites. First, try using the challenge function. Ask the AI to be ruthless and poke holes in your analysis. It's a fantastic way to avoid confirmation bias. You can also use pictures. Just take a screenshot of a dashboard you like and say, hey, make my output look like this. And finally, try using voice mode as an executive coach. Just talk through a problem out loud with it and then ask the AI to help you organize your thoughts. It's surprisingly effective. All right, let's just pull back for a second and look at the big picture. We've talked a lot about this new tool, but I want to end by talking about the skills that never go out of style and why they're actually more important now than they've ever been. This quote, right here, it just says it all. The irony of AI is that the more powerful our tools for generating information become, the more valuable our human ability to scrutinize that information becomes. An AI can generate 1,000 pages in a second, but it takes human judgment to find the one right idea in all that noise. So, all those core professional skills you've been honing for years, critical thinking, the discipline to question assumptions, the diligence to examine evidence, these skills are not being replaced by AI. They are being amplified. The AI is the intern doing all the legwork, but you are the senior analyst whose judgment and critical eye are absolutely indispensable for turning that work into something trustworthy and valuable. And we'll leave you with this one final thought. AI has basically made getting answers to questions a commodity. It's easy. The real skill, the one that's going to define professional success in this new era, is knowing what questions to ask in the first place. So yeah, AI is a powerful tool for answering questions. But are you asking the right ones?